Good morning, everybody. It's the 4th of September. Happy Non-Farm Friday to you all.
Hey.
We're Signal Centre, talking ball. I'm Joe Neighbour, joined by Ian Coleman and Steve O'Hare. Morning, guys.
Good morning, all.
Good morning.
Everybody all
Non-farm,
right?
bloody hell, yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
coming
Non-farm
quick,
Friday.
doesn't it?
Yeah.
Always get a little bit nervous on non-farm. Takes me back to the good old days.
I was going to say, what practicing your backswing or something, Steve? Is that?
Yeah.
Don't trade non-farm, surely.
Yeah, playing golf while the order book was loaded up and just waiting for a call from the June to say, Houston, we have a problem.
Yeah.
Not the best
It's
time to trade. We always say don't trade it.
yeah,
don't
we do. But here we are again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All fun and games yesterday.
Yeah.
Is the bubble bursting on stocks?
I pretty much doubt it.
Yeah.
Bubble burst
buying
on
it up
Bitcoin,
today.
didn't it? Not going
Yeah.
back to my early gloat from a Bitcoin trade, but
Yeah, that has.
Yeah.
Wheels have come right off that, haven't they?
It does have a tendency to track stocks, doesn't it?
Still feels a little bit overvalued to me, though. Even the Bitcoin stocks, obviously, but Bitcoin definitely around 10,000. Just don't know. Can't see the value in it, but I don't know enough about it, so better shut up.
Yeah. Otherwise, you get all the Bitcoin fraternity start.
Yeah.
Commenting.
Protesting outside the house.
Yeah. So anything on the charts anybody wants to show up? Have you got any US indices you want to have a look at, or?
Not really, but
No.
I got cable. This downward trending resistance broken yesterday, and I'm looking at this level, 135.40. I put it as today. Maybe that could sort of like see the value return. It's a little bit of a reverse head and shoulders, maybe. The only other one is silver, really. That's the long-term chart. That's the weekly, stalling in front of 50% fib retracement. But yeah, we were looking at this head and shoulders formation the other day, and we've sort of like moved all the way down, and we're now close to the $26 support level. So I'm sort of think this is a good opportunity to fade. Dollar obviously held around the 90, high 92s, 93 level yesterday. And I think, further weakness in dollar, we'll see this pick back up again. Obviously the Dow, ouch, that's a bit of a funky reversal, isn't it? Only over the course of 3 hours, you wiped out weeks of gains.
Yeah,
what was the news that pushed that then, or wasn't there any?
I don't think there was a huge amount. I mean, there was just like
all I saw was, I think.
Yeah, just all I saw was good news on the fundamental side. But obviously, technicals are way ahead of fundamentals, as we know. And Nasdaq, obviously, just there's going to be corrections like this as we go through it. It's not yet a serious issue, although they look to be forming bearish flags, all three of them. You're seeing this bit of consolidation. Is this consolidation before the next move lower, which would probably equate to the same sort of move, or are we going to get it stalling here and reversing higher? Non-farm payroll, if we look at the daily chart on S&P, we've got some decent level of support coming in here from this trend line drawn here. And again, it sort of like tested it this morning, but non-farm can throw a spanner in the works for the bears who are in control at this point in time. But I don't think there's any confidence there.
According to one of the Bloomberg economists, they said today's US job report could deliver the last positive print before losses strike again, noting that the private sector payrolls, as reported by the ADP on Wednesday, showed a much weaker than expected pace of hiring last month. So it could look pretty good on paper today for the actual number, but it should or could start declining from here on.
I've got a feeling it's going to be shite.
Well, it can't be good, can it? Because all you hear, is people losing jobs on the TV, and it's just, the market's just going about what it's doing and going up and up and up. But real life, people are still losing their jobs and being furloughed, and it's not good, is it?
No. I think we see a weaker dollar today, even if
Do
it's
you
just
think
temporary.
a resumption of the trend on dollar today? Have you got any charts, Ian?
Yeah. So one that really interests me was this one this morning. So I think the long term, like I said, I think it's only a sort of intraday correction. Well, there's two charts I'm really interested in today. So this is Aussie dollar weekly chart. So we've hit this 261.8% extension level. If we could take that down to a daily chart, it's all a bit symmetrical madness. So got an EMA there at 73.90, which caught the top pretty well, and then we've got this confluence area. So I think you've got an evening doji star there. So I think the long-term bias is still to the downside. But if we go to this shorter time frame, we've got our bespoke support, which was located at 72.63, which we just clipped this morning. And I think this is, if you squint a bit, sort of a 5-wave move to the downside, and we've not really seen a decent correction to set off the first wave. So I think intraday, looking for sort of stronger base currencies and weaker dollar. If we go to dollar yen, this is what we talked about yesterday with a 106.55 trigger, and it's reacted quite well to that. Now that's obviously another symmetrical pattern Gartley, and that is a measure move target down here 104.80, and basically that would mean weaker dollar and stronger yen, which normally occurs on a shite non-farm payroll figure, and we're expecting to build a 1.4 million. So I'm looking for short dollar CAD. I think is quite interesting. This was our trigger level last night, and we tried to get in again this morning, but we've not had that opportunity. And of course, we closed not long after this, so we didn't really get much R out of it. And I think that looks quite negative down to around about this level, which is 130.50, 130.48. So yeah, I think it's sort of a correction in the dollar. I mean, the dollar index just looks a bit toppy up here. This is the hourly chart. Like I said, I wouldn't expect a massive reversal. There's all my 800 fibs gone. Who's been messing about with that? But yeah, this sort of zone between 50 and 61.8, because you can see a confluence area over here, and that's a previous swing high. So even if we get a move to the downside, I think it'll be short-lived, but that's the bias for intraday, I think.
Looking at gold yesterday, that didn't really get bid up with the selling, and it's trading more like a risk asset, I suppose, at the minute. I mean, it was fairly stable around about this sort of 78.6 I've got on the
It's not going with the dollar, is it?
No, definitely not. So it's broken out this triangle, a bit of a retest down here to this 78.6. So I've come within a couple of ticks of getting long of that yesterday, but it didn't work out. Keeping the same level today. Still want to buy it, but hasn't really reacted in the same sort of way I wanted it to, I guess, given that we saw that sell-off in stocks. Oil had a pretty nasty move yesterday. Just zoom this out a little bit. We've got this channel that I've got on my chart, broke down, maybe looking for a bit of a retest on that this morning. So looking to sell rallies on that. It's sort of failed at this 43.60 level, which has capped the upside for a number of weeks
while
now.
Yeah.
A month we're looking at. So that breakdown there, looking for a retest and maybe a continuation lower. Yeah, particularly if there is going to be more risk off in stocks, then you'd fancy oil to track that and head lower. So that's the bias for me at the moment on that.
It's trying to sort of make a fight back in the last hour or so.
Yeah, well, all the risk assets appear to be doing that. You look at CAC, DAX, FTSE, they're all having a decent move off of the overnight lows.
Yeah.
Which is always, which continues to be the way, just buy dips.
Yeah.
And there's a NASDAQ. It's a fairly short-term trend line, but I was trying to sort of draw a fib retracement on that, but you can't really with,
We'll have to make up a new fib retracement.
I've got plenty of those.
Yeah, Ian must have one, surely. There must be one number there that
at some
matches
point,
up.
it's like at least a 38.2% pullback in some of these US stocks, which would take the Nasdaq down to about 10,200. It's just not happening now, is it?
No. Even at 10,200, we're still bullish, aren't we? So,
absolutely, yeah.
Just can't argue with the. Obviously, we did yesterday in the afternoon. We sort of had some good US trade calls with one of our new analysts, and that worked out really well.
Indeed.
Made some good R in that, but I must admit, we were talking in the morning, and we were sort of saying it just feels like buying dips, but they're just sometimes they're larger dips. So it's just, there's nothing really to get carried away with yet. You'd need, I think, like a week of serious red candles for me to sort of think that this
needs a bit of capitulation, wouldn't you? Really, I think.
Yeah.
A few more people heading for the exit, but there's still a lot of money sloshing around, and that's. The bubble hasn't burst yet, I don't think. I think I put it up as the title of today's video, just sort of asking the question if that was the sort of first move or the first warning shot that things could be about to pop. But you never know until way after the event, do you?
Well, that's the thing, that there was no real headline to sort of for that move yesterday. So that's the scary thing when you see that sort of bearish move and there's no headline. You've got to sort of just be thinking that all this rally is just built on buying programs that just keep coming in, and once the buying programs are switched off, where are we going to go? Who are we going to call?
Ghostbusters. So yesterday you two had some good gun to the head trades in my absence. You had a dollar index short, 0.7R, 71R on that. And Ian, 2 days in a row, been on your Bitcoin calls, 1.55R yesterday.
Should just run it with a tight stop, shouldn't we, from the start?
Yeah, all this stop-start nonsense. You could have had a big old winner on that, couldn't you?
Never mind.
But that's
it was only on the back of your head and shoulders because I was off for a week and you'd put one on the chart, so I hadn't seen it. So you get half credit for that.
Okay, shall I add that onto my total?
Don't put it on your P&L though.
Well, overall, we've seen a nice little tick up in the last few days since the beginning of September. So, as we expected, markets have picked up a little bit since then, and we're out of the summer lull, hopefully. So hopefully that will continue moving higher and back up towards previous highs that we've seen on our P&L, which was last seen at the end of June.
Right.
So who's got a winner for us today? Ian, are you going for a hat trick on Bitcoin?
No, I'm going to go for put my, what's in the custard, and I'm going for dollar index. I think you're going to get a little head and shoulders here. This is short-term chart, hourly chart, and like I said, I think we're going to get shite numbers. So, as I mentioned a minute ago, I think the sort of target level is around about here. This head and shoulders would have a target level at 92.34 with a stop above this morning's high. That gives quite a decent arse, and 90 going short of the dollar index at 92.90, going for 92.34, and I'll just go for 10 tick stop. 92.80 I'm short, 92.90 stop.
Sorry, I just got distracted there. Sorry, I got distracted. Look, Tina, look at that. Looking all right, isn't she?
Yeah.
Looking hot.
Yeah,
can't hear what she's saying though.
She said, "Are you still?"
She's saying, "Steve, you're punching above your weight."
Steve, you're punching. Are you still talking bull? That she said.
She said, "You're coming to do a bit of Joe Wicks with me in a minute."
Sort of disappointed with the Joe Wicks.
Hot and sweaty on a Friday morning.
Yet. Sorry, that really distracted me. No.
So anyway, 4.6R.
Wow.
Steve, are you still a bit flustered, or have you got a trade
still a bit
idea?
flustered, still a bit hot under the colour. Yeah, I can't concentrate.
Right, I'll go then. I'm going to buy the hottest market around, which is Nasdaq. I don't think you can keep this thing down. He's obviously had this big old sell-off, but there'll be so many people waiting to jump into these the tech names on the back of the dip. Decent uplift this morning, so going to jump on that at 11,772. Target a move back to the highs at 12,465.
Nice.
And a stop loss below this morning's lows at 11,575.
He's keen. Pub must be open. It's a bit early, isn't it?
3.6R.
Nice.
See what happens.
I think you've
Trend is your friend.
missed the market, Joe. Actually, looking at this, as Nasdaq hasn't quite cleared the these levels of the third set, whereas the Dow and the S&P have.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Tech's underperforming.
5 day free up.
Yeah, so I'm going to go for S&Ps. I'm going to buy the S&Ps.
You boys are going against me, aren't you?
Are we? Sorry, I was a bit distracted during yours. There we go. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to buy at 34.68. And I'm going to target a move back up to the highs, 35.78. And stop at 34.28. 2.75 R. There we go. That's what I'm doing. Buying S&Ps.
See what happens. So non-farm Friday, as we said. So ideally, wouldn't do anything at all today, but we're in, and we'll see what comes of it.
Got to be in it to win it.
You have anything else news-wise that stood out for you guys? Anything on the?
No, not really.
On the day ahead, we've got UK construction at 9:30. Then we've obviously got non-farms at 1:30. Various expectations. Did you say 1.4, Ian?
Yeah, 1.4 million at.
And what I've got here, it's saying 1.55.
FX Street 1.4.
So there'll be a range, I guess.
Let's have a look at investing.com. Their calendars normally bang at it. They've got 1.4.
Okay, let's go with that then. So we've also got some Canadian data after that, employment data at 1:30 and the IV PMI at 3. And that finishes off the week.
Dollar CAD's always a good one, isn't it, for non-farm Friday? Because you always get the unemployment figure out of Canada as well. And if they're disjointed, you can get a decent move in dollar CAD. Anyway, waffling.
Okay, so shall we wrap it up there?
Yeah.
Yes.
Good luck, everyone.
Yeah. Have a good weekend.
Indeed, you too, and we'll catch you all up on.
You need some pictures in there, Joe, or something, don't you?
Yeah, I'm going to get a green screen.
I like it.
Yeah.
Are you facing the window?
I've got the window over there.
Oh, nice. Yeah, lovely.
Just so I have got a view. Otherwise, I did have it facing the wall before.
Can you hear the missus in the other room?
No.
Did that facing the wall? Did that make you feel like you're back at school?
I was never facing the wall. I was a good boy.
I can hear your missus.
I bet you were. I bet you were.
I bet he was as well.
Right. Have a good one, everyone.
Guys. Yeah.
See you on Monday.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye.